So I think that's a good way to think about these things. So would I go and put a huge amount of capital there? No. If it gets run over and it turns to zero, you won't even notice it. It's like driving down the road and you ride over a stone.
Chris, do you see the South African mess/unpredictability, nationalisation and higher royalties as a major investment risk and prefer Aussie coal miners instead? That's from Florian as well.
We have Tangela in our portfolio too, by the way.
Yeah. Look, the risk, again, can't be eliminated, can be managed. So let's just say, for argument, I'm not going to answer the question directly, and there's a reason for it. This is the way I'm going to answer it. Imagine that you've got a South African equity, right? And it's got some political risk because they want to steal the assets or whatever the case might be. But the thing's trading at a PE of, I don't know, 3. And then you've got an Australian one that's very similar, and it's trading at a PE of 10. They're not the same company. They're not, right? Even if by every other metric they have the same revenues, they have the same sort of assets, etc., etc. Now, of course, that's never going to happen. But the point I'm trying to make is that everything, if we're interested where things are not priced correctly, so we will buy a company in a region which has risk, provided the risk is priced in and or really priced in to the degree that it probably shouldn't be, i.e. like Argentina was. It was priced for complete bankruptcy, and we were like, we don't think so. It's possible that it's not, and there's so you had a significant asymmetry as a consequence of how that equity was priced. So I think that's a good way to think about these things. So when you're looking at Tangela versus I don't know, say Stanmore or any Whitehaven, that's and you realize that there are different risks. Obviously, you're going to have risk at a company management level, you're going to have risk at the mine level, and then you're going to have risk at the political level. There's also going to be risk in terms of maybe in geography, weather. There's a million different risks. But if you kind of run through them and go, oh, this one's like really, I'm worried about this because they're going to steal assets. Guess what? Maybe 0.5% position weighting in something like that, when it's really unbelievably cheap, like free, that's not a bad idea, right? Because that's the kind of thing where potentially it's like you don't need things to work out magically. They just need to be less shitty than the market expects them to be, and they can go up 5 or 10 times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess a decent example right now might be a place like Venezuela, completely priced for bankruptcy, and it's a disaster. Would I go and put a huge amount of capital there? No. But if it's priced, cheap enough, is 0.5% position weighting a terrible idea? No. If it gets run over and it turns to zero, you won't even notice it. It's like driving down the road and you ride over a stone in a 4x4. You won't feel it. Very different to if you've got a big percentage. Now your car just went over a rock and you might have lost some of the undercarriage. So I think that's the best way to actually think about these positions.